right, Sons, and welcome back to an all-new episode of Let's Talk About Star Wars with Maggie Lovett. Today's episode is going to be a short one because I am going to be showing off two of my recent finds. I have been slowly venturing out into the wilds of the universe and finding things in shops, which has been very exciting. I am very much a fan of the hunt. So it has been so much fun to find Star Wars memorabilia in shops and antique stores and thrift stores and used bookstores. I am trying to be very good about what I choose because I've definitely seen some things that I was like, oh, I have to have this. But in reality, like it wasn't really what I'm like looking for. And it was really just because it was there and not because I really needed it. So I'm trying to be a little bit more discerning with my tastes. But before we get into that, I did want to talk a little bit about The Bad Batch, which of course is having its season finale this Friday. We just got part one of the two-part finale, Return to Kamino. And can I just say that I felt personally attacked by the fact that they got rid of Kamino. Yeah, like as somebody who has been really embracing the prequel era all over again this year and kind of getting back to my roots as a fan of Star Wars and like collecting all of the stuff from the prequel era, seeing Kamino get essentially bombed and sunk into the ocean was devastating. I had said to a friend, actually, I said to a couple friends, and I said on the live stream on Friday, that I actually felt more pain from Kamino going into like the clone facility going into the ocean than I did like the whole scenario between Hunter and Crosshair, which I mean maybe that's just me because like I'm not really connecting with like Hunter or Crosshair like at all, but it felt like such a marked intentional like this is the time to say goodbye to the prequel era. It felt very definitive. Obviously they can go back. We can get more stories from Kamino. We can get more stories from the prequel era. That doesn't mean they're never revisiting it again. But I feel like that particular moment really took a stand and was like, from this point forward, this is the Empire ruining everything that we once loved. So I think it was really interesting. I thought it was really great imagery. You know, if you watch me on any of the live streams, you know that or even just read my reviews on Fridays, you know that I have a pretty love-hate relationship with The Bad Batch. Like I haven't really connected with like 90% of the episodes. Like I was a big fan of the Fennec Shand episodes. I really liked the Cad Bane episode. I say that as like Cad Bane's right there on my bookshelf staring at me. Like I like those episodes. I thought those were really good. I've really liked what they've been doing with Omega. Like I wasn't 100% sold on Omega in Aftermath, but I really think she's come into her own as a character, and I think they've given her a little bit more fleshing out as the story goes along. And I've really been a fan of that. And then you have like the Kiner, like Kevin Kiner and the Kiner brothers music is just like incredible, and the animation is truly breathtaking. There's been a couple scenes that like you genuinely forget that you're watching animation and you're not watching something in live action. And I've really enjoyed what they've been doing with those two elements. But by and large, I haven't really been connecting with the actual characters outside of like Wrecker and Echo. Like those are the two characters that I think have had the most. But even then, I don't think they've gone that extra step to really sell any of the characters in this universe. And so I am very excited that we are getting a second season of The Bad Batch and that it wasn't just going to be a one and done because there's so much storytelling potential left. And, you know, I had this theory a couple weeks ago that it's possible that since The Bad Batch is part of the lost episodes from the Clone Wars, and we know that, you know, a long time ago they had this plan for a spinoff of the Clone Wars, that it's possible that a lot of the things that aren't working with The Bad Batch season 1 is due to its original formatting, which was most likely going to be on a network like Cartoon Network. And so you have more of this weekly, like, adventure of the week type scenario. And I think that that really undercut a lot of the much stronger storytelling. You know, Rescue on Ryloth was so good, not just because we saw Hera, but because we got a little bit more for the characters and a little bit more development. And I think that those episodes, like the Fennec Shand and the Cad Bane episodes, they connect it to the larger universe and they connect it with stronger ties. And so they worked because the Bad Batch as a whole, those characters aren't super connected. They're not super in touch with what's going on, and they're also not in touch with who they are as characters. And so I'm really hoping that with season 2 that we see more of these isolated character driven episodes that really helped the Bad Batch to grow as characters and to become what they have the potential of being, because as they stand right now, almost all of the clones, save for Wrecker, though he is also one, and save for Echo, they're very much caricatures. Like, you know that Hunter is really good at like searching for things and being a leader, and Tech is the brains, and he's good at not talking to people and just doing his thing. Like, the interpersonal connections are not his forte. And Echo is kind of the same person as Tech, but warmer and more. Like, he's a reg. He doesn't really fit in with the Bad Batch. And then you have Wrecker, who's the heavy. He's the bulk. He's afraid of heights. He's got Lula. Like, there's lots of little things with these characters that we know and we can cling to, but a larger picture, it's just they're not there. Like, in isolation, I don't think an episode that's only Hunter could be a good episode. As it stands right now, I think there's the potential for some really good character stuff. I'm curious to see where the finale ends, because I did think part 1 ended on a note that could have been really, really compelling for like dun dun dun, and then you're left waiting to find out if there is a second season. So I thought it was interesting that they told us there was a second season of the Bad Batch before the finale. Because I think it could have been really gut punching that way. So, I'm hopeful that next week will give us some more like Crosshair, because there's a lot to touch on there, a lot to touch on with Hunter. I'm hoping we play into that, because obviously they're not drowning at the bottom of the ocean next week. It'd be really grim if they were. But I also hope that they don't undo the like dire straits that they've been left in, because I think that could hurt ultimately moving into the second season, because you need something to make us want to come back. So you can't undo everything. I've said in some of my reviews, I feel like episodes undo the growth from the previous episode, and so I hope they don't do that. I hope that they build on it and they hit us with some really like solid feels for the finale, because we have probably a year-ish. I'm anticipating maybe next summer. We didn't get an actual date, but I'd say probably next summer, because I think they have stuff going on in the spring with some of their live actions. But I am just excited to see what they do. Star Wars is always great to have new stories in the Star Wars galaxy. So even though I haven't been the biggest fan of the Bad Batch, my critiques of it are just because I want it to be better. I want it to touch more people, because I know I'm not the only person that's had struggles with the Bad Batch and the storytelling that they're using. I've seen a lot of people kind of disengaging, and it's definitely not the same vibe on Twitter as like The Mandalorian. A lot of people aren't mad about spoilers. People aren't really talking about it, until the weekend, and even then, not really. It's a different kind of culture around it. And with animation and orchestration as good as the Bad Batch, I want it to be the best story possible, because I want more people to see it and to engage with it and to enjoy it, because there's a lot of really fantastic potential there. And that's, people who critique things don't hate things. Usually, at least in my case, I only critique the things I love because I want them to be better. I don't generally talk about things that I don't like, unless I'm just like jokingly talking about The Rise of Skywalker. People were talking about Palpatine this morning, and I was just like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not engaging. But yeah, I think it's, it's important to have these conversations. There's also some of the larger conversations around the Bad Batch in terms of whitewashing, because there have been some issues and very valid concerns with the way that the characters are caricatures. And some of those stereotypes are not particularly good, considering who the clones are based on, and Tamora Morrison being a Maori man. Like, there's been some issues, and I think that those are all extremely valid, extremely important conversations to be had. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of those conversations between now and the premiere of season 2, because that's just the nature of Star Wars. And I think more people, once the season is over, will hopefully engage with those conversations. And I am hopeful, who knows, fingers crossed, that the animation team will respond to that and correct course in season 2. If not, I will probably be complaining about that myself. But yeah, so the Bad Batch season 2 finale is in a few days. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what I have to say next Sunday. But now that I have talked for 10 minutes about the Bad Batch, I'm now going to get into what I have thrifted this week because I am so excited. So as you all know, I recently got the mega figures for Qui-Gon Jinn and Padme, and I said that I was looking for Obi-Wan and Maul. I've been looking online. Some of them are just a little too rich for my blood. I don't really want to spend more than like $20 on a lot of my new collector pieces. So I was so excited when I went to one of my favorite antique stores, and in the like past year and a half since the last time I went to this antique store, somebody's opened up a like comic book action figure shop within it. It's one of those like antique stores with different stalls and different stores inside of it. And like instantly I was just like transfixed by this place because it had so many cool comics and so many Star Wars toys. And the first thing I saw was this. It was Obi-Wan. And the box has been opened, but like nothing's been taken out of it. There was like a sticker damage, and I was like, don't worry about it. I take my things out of the box. But it's Obi-Wan, and I am so excited because it kind of completes my collection. Now I just have to find Darth Maul, and I am so excited about that because I will have completed like my must find, must track down collector's pieces, and I'm very excited about that. And I also just kind of love these toys because they feel like a relic of the past. Like this toy was purchased for ironically $20 at FAO Schwartz like in the 90s, and I don't know, for some reason I am obsessed with finding like vintage toy store stickers and receipts and stuff like that, because obviously like FAO Schwartz is still around, I think. But there's just something cool about finding these relics of the past. Needless to say, I think that if I was in Star Wars, I would probably be some like relic hunter or like something like that, like finding my collector's pieces. Because like the more I read like the High Republic stuff, there's some cool stuff that some of the characters, like, obviously you have Wraith, who's like, I just want to, like, read. I just want to be chill and, like, read in the library. I don't want to go out where there's bugs. I totally relate to that. And there's a comic that comes out this Wednesday. My review will go up on Tuesday. But it is the Ty Yorick miniseries for the Star Wars High Republic Adventures. I really love Ty. She's great. I'm really curious to see what her backstory is. But I love that, like, spoiler alert for the Rising Storm, like she's a saber for hire, and she's so cool. So I'm a big fan of her, and really excited to see people's reactions to that comic because, you know, it's super fun, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 issues of it. It's a 4-issue miniseries under the High Republic Adventures. Come on, Obi-Wan. Bring yourself in. We'll put that in the box later. And then he's got this little hand protector that's got tape on it. Let's see. But yeah, there's so much stuff with the High Republic, and I love that we're seeing a lot of different kinds of Jedi. You know, I feel like with the prequels, you know, while I'm holding Obi-Wan, like I really related to the kind of Jedi that Qui-Gon seemed to be, and I wish that we had gotten to see like a little bit more of that in obviously the prequel era. And I feel like, oh my god, the High Republic era is giving us a lot of different kinds of Jedi and Padawans and apprentices, and we're seeing how they react to similar situations and how they evolve and where they find their place in the galaxy, and I think that's just really fun. Okay, he went in way easier than the Qui-Gon Jinn one, but there he is. Let's see, what do I have to do to make it not focus weird? But yeah, look at him. He's perfect. I'm quite happy with that one. Oh, I love this. So now I just have to find Darth Maul. I feel so bad being like, oh, I'm going to collect all of these Darth Maul things because he killed Qui-Gon Jinn. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Oh, he crouches. So he like, that's so cool. Oh, they need to make more figures like this. Star Wars, call me up. I have some ideas. A Ben Solo this size, beautiful figure, would make you so much money. Just Ben Solo merch in general. I am currently wearing my new "You Are Not Alone" shirt that I pre-ordered back in May for May the 4th. It is from Be by Boutique. Yeah, Be by Boutique. It's like bippity boppity boo themed. Love their stuff. Totally blanking on the store name, but I will put a link down in the description if you want to see the other stuff they have. I don't think this is for sale currently anymore. It was like an exclusive thing that they did for May the 4th, but they have a lot of fun merchandise, and they also have like Loungefly stuff and, you know, what you expect from a Disney themed store. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you have already seen this used bookstore pickup, and I am still so excited about this. This, like, I love Star Wars books. My bookshelf says so. But this is such a cool book because I love the like tie-in books, and this book is 20 years old. It is a really cool collector's book. It was The Wildlife of Star Wars. I got it for $5 from my favorite local used bookstore, and it just like blew my mind. The sticker's still on the back, but the book is really cool. Like the interior art design is just like unbelievably cool, and you have, so it's written by Terrell Witchlatch and Bob Carew for Chronicle Books. It has like character designs, and like it's a field guide. Which is really cool because Terrell actually, she was one of the character designers, the creature designers for Phantom Menace. But it goes over Tatooine, Hoth, Dagobah. It has 3 different sections for Naboo, my heart. And it has Bespin, Endor, Yavin 4, and Coruscant. And it's a really like in-depth book. Like here are some Tusken cats, which is like quite cool. Here you got some spotlight sloths with these really cool glowing things. You've got knobby white spiders. Let's see what else. Here is the crate dragon, which of course we have now seen more of thanks to The Mandalorian. Let's see. There is like some minor damage, which is fine. And then, you know, Boba Fett's BFF, the Sarlacc pit. It's so cool. I had no idea just like how big the Sarlacc pit is. So that was quite neat. Let's see what else. Just random pages. Here are Anubas being absolute little vicious things. Let's see what else. We have some Nunas. Some very cute little Nunas. We have, now there were blurgs in here. Let me see if I can find the blurgs. Because I was just so giddy to see the blurgs. Of course, you've got banthas. And they have like detailing for like the tongue and stuff. So if you're like me and you are somebody who enjoys like guidebooks, like my favorite book is The Guide to the Galaxy, which has like, if you're traveling to these places, like here's where to go, and here's their language, and here's how to learn to speak Wookiee. And it's like in-world content. This is something that you should definitely look for in your local like used bookstore, on thrift stores online. It is kind of hard to find. I know a lot of people were like super shocked that I found it and for the price that I found it for. But if you're someone like me who really enjoys feeling like you're immersed in Star Wars, this is something that you definitely want to pick up because it feels like something that you would pick up in a fancy like curiosity shop, and you would learn about what people have encountered in their own journeys around the galaxy. And like the artwork for Naboo is just like, those look like Frisian horses, but obviously they're not. This is a Guralaris, the most royal of beasts, hidden by monarchy only, ridden by, I can't read. The most royal of beasts, ridden by monarchy only, domesticated gorillas are sacred animals revered on Naboo and memorialized in the text and theology. Like this just, it's a field guide and it's so cool. But like, why was Padme not riding one of these around in the prequels? Hello. The creatures of Naboo are incredibly gorgeous and so, well, not the things in Gungan swamps. They're a little dopey, but you know, we love them anyways. Like these moths are totally like just giant hippos. And they've got them like in a maternity chamber, like suckling their babies. Oh, it's so cute. But yeah, if you're interested, I would be like super happy to go through this book like in more depth and record some of the creatures that are found here in this book because really cool. This boar wolf. Oh, I found the blurg. So here is the blurg and the boar wolf. Yeah, totally a fan of blurgs. And the blurg is with the adorable little Ewok. But those are creatures of Endor. And of course, we know that blurgs have ended up in other places in the galaxy as well. They also have the Ewok ponies, which if you listen to the Caravan of Courage episode of the Outer Rim Beacon, I was like, why do they have horses? This is why they're called Ewok ponies. They're basically just ponies. But book is like so cool. The texture on the outside feels like scales. It's so cool. I'm so glad I found it. But I would love to know like if you like to go thrifting or to yard sales or to like sticker sales or wherever you go. Like what Star Wars things have you found? Have you found any like things that you've been coveting since you were a child, or have you like found new things that you want to read or like experience? Like I'd love to know because I am absolutely obsessed with looking for things in strange places. And be sure to tune in next week at Blue Bantha Milk Co. over on YouTube. We are doing episode 2.5, and I am so excited to be playing Padme over there. We have such a great cast, and I cannot wait to get my AI on. So please be sure to tune in next Saturday, and I will be back, as always, on Sunday to talk Star Wars with all of you. So until next week, may the Force be with you.